Swimming pools, let your spirit grow. Welcome to the Gardner's room. You sit down where the song is blown. Learn to bend and then courage show. Each droplet of hope, each tender hand, built a garden done perfectly planned. Welcome to the Gardner's room. From petals of change to sprawling green, the journey's tough but diffuse serene. Together we rise like stems in the rain. Through love and care we break every chain. Empowering minds, transforming lives. Every sunrise, a chance to fly. Bring home, let your spirit go. Welcome to the Gardner's room. Yes, good morning, good morning. I can see Sharon, I can see one extra person. For me, that is it. I tell people, I see Nina is back. Let's hope we are very well this morning. It's a chill morning, and so hope you had a very lovely weekend. Can I hear somebody say amen, amen, so that I can know if people are hearing me? Okay. Thank you. Today we want to talk about something interesting. If it's your first time joining us, remember it's our daily morning call, and we get up to be energized, to be pumped up, to know energized, and have the motivation and inspiration to take us through the day, because we know the way you start your day determines how you spend it. So in today's episode, we are going to talk about something very interesting. We're going to talk about accountability, because we know everybody in life has to be accountable to something. And I think the Greek understood it very well. They said, an examined life is not worth living. And an examined life simply means you've not taken full accountability of your life. So, how do we become accountable, and what is the essence of accountability in our lives, in our endeavors, in our leadership, in the things that we do in life? So, when we talk about accountability, accountability is more or less of the GPS. If you have your phone and maybe somebody tells you, come and visit me in Entebbe, you've not been to Entebbe before, and they tell you, come and visit me. Chances are that if you don't know that place, you'll put on your GPS and move to Entebbe. And there's that lady who keeps on talking, 15 minutes, turn left, turn right, do this, do that. That lady is not actually your control. It's just your guide. So the lady keeps you from riding or driving in circles. They help you find their way. However much, sometimes when you fail to find the way, it's not that the lady has failed to show you the way, but it's because some obstacles in the way have hindered your progress towards where you want to get. And at times, we don't even use the GPS. Somebody invites you to a place you do not know, you think you're going to use your brain and get there. But we know that many of us have mistaken movement for achievement. It doesn't mean that whoever you see walking on the road knows where they're going. Majority of them, you saw that meme that in Kampala, just wake up early in the morning, put on your shoes, tuck in, put on your coat and your tie, and just enter into the city. We saw that meme. So not everybody you see in the city walking actually knows where they are going. And you cannot know you are lost if you don't know where you're going. So accountability is that GPS that keeps you in check, that keeps on telling you, hey, you know what, take left, take right, you're 100 meters, you're short now, you have arrived to your destination. And that is what accountability is. So without accountability, you're going to move without direction. So if you're here, many of us have, has it occurred to you at a time you borrow a charger? For example, a phone charger. You're in class or you're at your workplace, or you meet a friend somewhere in a cafe. You borrow their charger to charge your phone, and unfortunately, you go with that charger. You forget to return the charger back to the owner. That is small scale unaccountability. That small scale unaccountability of failing to return just a charger shows that you lack some GPS within you. It shows that you are lacking that accountability of saying, you know what, this is not mine, then I have to return it. So if you can't return the small things, it simply means you can't be trusted. There is no integrity because it starts with a small thing and it goes to the ripple effect. So accountability, ladies and gentlemen, starts small. But what is accountability? We need to understand the word for us to be able to use it in our daily lives and see its relevance. Now, accountability is more or less of a mirror. When you look at a mirror reflects who you are. It does not add, it does not subtract, it does not multiply. All that a mirror does is to show who exactly you are. If you're light, it will show you as light. If you're dark, it will show you as dark. If you have red or white eyes, red lips, it will show you the way they are. So it's just a reflection. There is no judgment. There is no criticism. And also accountability is more or less of a receipt. If you go to a restaurant and get food and eat, they'll give you a receipt to show that actually you have eaten. That is more or less of accounting for what you have ate and how much you have ate. If you may like, also accountability can be more or less of a bank account. When you keep withdrawing money from your bank over and over again without reinvesting, time will come and you'll find that your account is running dry. When you go to withdraw, they will tell you you have insufficient funds on your account. That is accountability. It shows you how much you have been withdrawing. It shows you how much you have eaten. It shows you who you are. So accountability is not something that comes from outside. No, it is something that reflects who you are. The challenge that we have as human beings is that we spend most of our times trying to clean the mirror, to remove the dust, than cleaning ourselves. We start pointing fingers, we start blaming, we start criticizing others without seeing the criticism in us first. So instead of wasting time cleaning the mirror so that your image can be clean, you need to start cleaning yourself so that the mirror can reflect who you truly are. And that is accountability. So there are three ingredients in accountability. And these three ingredients are your daily step to help you be accountable to yourself. The first is you need to take ownership. Accountability has everything to do with ownership. Now, ownership is more or less of you being a chef. I don't know if you've been to the kitchen, or if you've ever met a chef, or if you've ever prepared yourself a meal. A chef knows the meal they are going to prepare, and they know the ingredients they are going to prepare, and they know the order in which they are going to put the ingredients. They even know the amount of salt, the amount of pepper, the amount of oil they are going to use to prepare that meal. So they will light and take full responsibility. If it so happens that the meal burns, the chef will not blame the tools. He won't say, no, you know what, the gas was too high. No, no, you know what, the saucepan I was using is too, maybe it's an alumni and uh, saucepan, so it burns very fast. Or you know what, the oil. No, they take full responsibility, accountable for every ingredient put in the meal. And the same thing has to be with our lives. You need to be accountable for yourself 100%, for your acts and for your missions. If you miss deadlines, accept you have missed deadlines. If you work into time, accept, own it, but don't just own it, fix it. That is what ownership simply means. If something happens, fix it. Many of us have this mindset of blaming, complaining. We blame the tools than blaming the workman. As they say, a bad workman quarrels with his tools. It simply means that workman does not have any accountability to. So you need to be accountable for your actions and omissions, but most importantly, you need to learn how to fix them when they don't work. The second is that you need to be answerable. Answerable. More or less of, if you've driven, you know, we are normally stopped by policemen along the road. Now, answerability simply means it's more or less like being taking ownership, but giving the reasons as to why something has happened. Reasons not to avoid, reasons not to criticize, reasons not to judge, but reasons for your actions and omissions. Now, the question comes, are you answerable? If you're overspeeding, like it so happened to me the other day, I was going to Entebbe, and His Excellency the President was using the express bypass. They stopped us actually for around, I think it was coming to an hour. I had class that was starting at 8:30. I was around 1 hour and 30 minutes or 45 minutes late. So the way I was moving on the express highway was as if I'm running after a gold mine. But later, those people that have used the express highway, they know as you're exiting towards Entebbe, there are normally traffic officers there. So they stopped me. Because I knew it, I reduced my speed, but I was still speeding. So they stopped me and asked me, why are you driving so fast? I did not blame, I did not complain. I was answerable. I told the police officer, the traffic officer, look, we have been stopped for almost 1 hour and 45 minutes waiting for His Excellency to pass. And remember, I am a lecturer. I'm going to have class. And my learners have been waiting for me for almost 1 hour and 45 minutes. So I'm moving very fast. At least I catch up with the last hours or last minutes so that I can give them something that I had prepared for them for the day. The traffic officer looked at me and said, okay, you've been so honest. You can move. What was that? I was answerable. Yes, I did not refuse that I was not overspeeding. I accepted I was overspeeding and I gave my reasons as to why. How often do you give your reasons? Is the question. Many of us blame, we complain, we point fingers. But we said for you to be accountable, you need to own it, take ownership and fix it. And this is what I did. I took ownership that I was overspeeding, but I fixed it by being answerable why I was overspeeding. We have seen this happening in our workspaces. You know, for example, you are a manager, you're a CEO, you're owning a group of people, and maybe you want to reduce on their salaries. You just get up one morning and reduce on their salaries. You've not told them why. And when they ask you, you say, you know what? I said so. That's not answerability. Answerability is that you give them the reason as to why you have cut down their salaries. For example, you may say, of late, we are not making profits. The organization is not making profits. The company is not making profits. But we need to reduce on our expenditures so that we can balance the company's revenues. And that is why I thought it worth to reduce all of us, even me, the CEO, to reduce on our salaries so that we can cater for expenditures. That is answerability. You don't just dictate, you give reasons for what you have decided. And that is why we tell ourselves that when you look around, we as human beings, we are social creatures. We don't focus or we don't need perfection. No. All we need is that we need explanations. Human beings don't need perfection, they need explanations. So, always there, take the initiative to explain because that's what we need. We know we are all imperfect, but in our imperfection, where we acknowledge our imperfection and give reasons for our imperfection, we make the world perfect. So, the third ingredient for accountability is we need to take up the consequences. Take it up, own it, fix it. So, how do we take up our consequences? You know, if you've eaten fene, yeah, jackfruit, for those who don't understand it in the local language, jackfruit is very sweet. But if you eat too much of it, the toilet will become your companion. I repeat, jackfruit is very sweet, but if you eat too much of it, the toilet will become your companion. Why? Consequences. It will show, you will know, and you will feel. Why? Because you've eaten too much. This simply means that you, as a human being, you, as a leader in your space, you have a choice to make. A choice to moderate how much you give and how much you take. A choice to moderate how much you take in and how much you take out. Because the consequences of what you bring out is directly proportional to what you take in. If you keep yourself around toxic people, chances are it will reflect at your workplace, it will reflect in your business, it will reflect in your personal life. Why? Tell me who your friends are, and I'll tell you who you are. The environment you're in determines the way you think, you feel, and act. What you take in. The Bible tells us, as a man thinketh, so is he. The way you think is the way you act. What do you take in? Consequences. And when we talk about consequences, we are talking about your five senses. Whatever you see, whatever you hear, whatever you smell, whatever you speak, whatever you feel, all determine what you do, all determine how you do what you do. Are you able to just ignore problems, or you are a solution provider? You become a solution provider because you've seen people providing solutions. You, you're a solution provider because you're in an environment where people provide solutions. So you're not just focusing on the consequences. You're focusing on what you take in because it's what you take in that will determine what you bring out. But as we have said, accountability has three pillars. One, consequences. Two, you need to take full action. And three, ownership. But why is it that we are never accountable? There are reasons as to why you're never accountable, and this is what we call the misconceptions or the myth beneath accountability that have hindered us from becoming accountable. The first myth is that accountability means punishment. That is not true. When somebody says, come and take full account for, you think they're going to punish you, which is not true. You think they're going to, I said accountability is more or less like a mirror. It shows who you are. So accountability simply means it's a reflection, not it's just a reflection of who you are, what you've failed to do and what you've done and what you've omitted. It's not all about punishment, no, it's reflection. It's to setting forth or giving you light onto what you are. And whenever you have somebody to polish you, to guide you, like the GPS, they help you to grow other than blaming. So accountability is not about punishment, accountability is about growth and not blame. The second misconception is that accountability means you have to do it alone. No, no. We have watched football, we have watched games, we have watched athletes. There is no athlete who does it alone. I normally tell people that the strength of a chain is each individual's strength, or the strength of a team is each individual's strength. What are you bringing on the table as an individual? If you're playing a game, it's teamwork. Teamwork. We have the defender, we have the striker, we have the midfielder, we have the goalkeeper. Everybody on the team is playing to their best effort or to their best abilities. So you cannot start saying that accountability simply means doing it alone. No, you can't do it alone. It's teamwork, because teamwork works. And for the team to work, you need each individual's strength for a team to work. So you need to go out and own the shot. Own yourself. Be accountable. But most importantly, play with the team. It's when you play with the team that you're more accountable. Because that checks and balance. People tell you, no, this time you didn't move very fast, you moved very slow. That's how you missed the game, or that's how you missed the ball. Because it is a team. The third misconception is that accountability is time consuming, which is not true. Imagine you enter your car, and when you look at the dashboard, there are these red lights. There's the light showing your battery is down. There's a light showing wheel alignment. There's a light showing engine check. There's a light showing you pressure balance. There's a light showing you, oil fill. It's showing already on your dashboard. Now, it is foolishness to ignore those lights on your dashboard because you think it's time consuming. No. Accountability simply means you need to fix the small leaks earlier. Because when you proceed, it's going to damage the engine, it's going to damage the tires, it's going to damage the oil, it's going to damage everything. So the small lights that show you of things to be acted upon simply are telling you, please, can you act upon them? It's not time consuming. It's giving you the red light earlier so that you can be able to take full responsibility for. And whenever you follow the red lights that have come, you're going to save time actually and build trust because you have worked on them and now you are sure about your vehicle's health and your vehicle's status. So you can go with it anywhere you want because there are no small lights. So when we talk about accountability, we are talking about growth, your personal growth. We are talking about teamwork because the team works. And for a team to work, it's each individual's strength. And we are talking about time saving. Time saving starts from you taking note of the small things that take up your time, or the small things that will hinder you from achieving or from moving. So, how do we become accountable leaders? You become an accountable leader or an accountable person or accountable manager or accountable individual. One, if you keep your word. Make the promise, keep the promise, and fulfill the promise. I repeat, make the promise, do the promise, and fulfill the promise or keep the promise. Because if you promise something and never deliver, you're running short of your character, your integrity. So accountability simply means fulfilling that of which you have promised. And many of us fall short of this. From the small things, you promise somebody, I'll make it on Friday, and you never make it. You tell somebody, I'll deliver this thing on Wednesday, you don't. You promise to deliver the report, the assignment, but you never do. And you don't even take up ownership to be answerable to it. Maybe something happened in between that hindered you from accomplishing it. The second is that you need to admit your mistakes. As a leader, as an individual, as a manager, you need to admit your mistakes. Yes, I forgot the umbrella. Yes, I forgot this, but then give why you did. And often in times, it helps us if we bring it before the event happens. For example, I'm supposed to give a talk at 9 and I may be caught up in jam. Instead of waiting for 9 and tell you guys, you know what, I was caught up in jam, I can call and tell you, no, I may come in late. Please, pardon me, persist with me. I'm coming in late. Why? Because there's a lot of jam here. What are you doing? You're admitting in time. The third is that you need to be transparent. Don't leave people hungry. Be like water. Don't leave people waiting. Be like water. Be transparent. If there is that, there is that. If there is cleanliness, there is cleanliness. It's more or less of a mirror. Be like a mirror, I may say. Reflect so that people can know from the beginning. And finally, you need to avoid excuses. Instead, move to giving reasons. There is a big difference between an excuse and a reason. When you give an excuse, at times you don't want to do something. When you give a reason, it simply means that you want to do something, but you've failed to do it because of certain circumstances. Now, when you marry these all together and make them your daily, then one, you'll grow in trust. People will trust you. It's more or less of when you're flying or you're getting a taxi or you're getting a border guy. If you don't trust the driver, if you don't trust the pilot, if you don't trust the rider, you want to be comfortable on that journey. So one, when you're accountable, it creates trust. You are reliable because people believe in you. The second is that whenever you're accountable, you increase your performance. Why? Because there is growth in what you do. There is growth in what you think. There is growth with the people around you. And it's not only about you, it's even the people around you. And finally, it deepens respect. Accountable people are always respected. You know why? They keep their word, they admit their mistakes, they are transparent, and people tend to believe them and respect them. That's when they become leaders and influence even when they're not in the building. So you marry these together, then you come to an understanding that we need accountability in our lives. So in a nutshell, your leadership, your ability without accountability is more or less of driving a car without tires. You won't get you don't arrive to your destination, and even the road won't be comfortable for you. And as leaders, as John C. Maxwell said, leadership is about influence. Your level of influence is directly proportional to your level of accountability. And we have said accountability simply means keeping your word, being transparent, being respected, and acknowledging your mistakes. But not just acknowledging, but also giving reasons as to why things have not worked out. So I would urge you from today, can we have a culture of being accountable? Not punishment, but just being accountable. Because accountability is what will make us grow, and it's what will make us better, do better, and live better, and most importantly, even better up the people we come in control or in charge of. Thank you so much. This is what I wanted us to talk about this morning, this chill morning, about accountability and how it helps us grow and how it helps us nurture ourselves and better environment and even also better those that are around us. I don't know if we have any questions, compliments on the topic before we call it a blessed Monday. Legal profession, please can you unmute your mic? It's making noise. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Doctor, for this insightful topic. My question is, what's your take on accountability partners?
Yes, accountability partners. It's more or less of what we have covered. We have said that for us to be able to grow, for us to be able to understand our partners, remember we are a mirror reflecting to the world. So when you see, as somebody said, that when you see things bad in your community, it simply shows that you are bad. It's a reflection of who you are. So before we look or we point blame or point fingers to our partners, one, Are we trustworthy? Do we keep our word? When you promise to do something, do you do it? Two, are we accountable, or do we take full responsibility for our acts and our omissions? Or we just blame? Three, are we transparent that they can know and predestine what we are thinking? Maybe not. Do they even trust us? So for you to give, to have, you need to give out the same, or give out the same currency. As I said, accountability is more or less of a bank account. If you keep withdrawing without depositing, you'll get a time the machine will tell you, hey, you know what? You're running out of funds, or you have insufficient funds on your account. And the same thing happens in our relationships. If we are not accountable to each other, one partner will run out. So it's a two-edged sword, which comes from a cardinal principle: do unto others what you want them to do unto you. So if you want your partner to be accountable, then you have to be accountable first. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Be transparent, take full responsibility, and most importantly, be answerable. Be answerable and take up the consequences as they come. Yes, Nina, thank you.
All right, thank you, Doctor.
Yes, any other question? We are 31 minutes past 6. Any questions? All right, if there are no questions, I want to urge you, let's go out this week and make accountability part of our daily life. Remember, we said accountability is about being answerable, taking full responsibility or consequences, and also being reliable. If we can put those into practice, then we are able to live happy and fulfilled, and not just happy and fulfilled, but even build growth and development with the people that come in touch with us. And that's what we desire in life: growth, and impact. Otherwise, I want to wish you a blessed Monday and a blessed week ahead. Catch you on Wednesday, same time, different minds. Let's go out and impact. And if you want, you can leave your comments on our YouTube channel. This discussion is live. Go there, leave comments, if leave suggestions, and maybe also tell us what you'd want us to talk about in the next episode. Otherwise, see you in our next episode. Go out, keep growing, keep learning. Most importantly, let's impact the world. Have yourselves a blessed morning.
Thank you, Doctor. Same to you.
All right.